Everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hope you're all doing great. Lawrence already had about a 2 hour session under the belt.
2 hours,
Yes,
exactly.
in the 2024
Manifesto.
manifesto launch, right, or presentation to the members. But welcome to all of you. We're going to give you our take on the state of the nation. And in the past, this has always been something that's really been well received. The channel always got lots of views. It's the first time you'll be with me when we actually do this.
An impromptu thing.
No, yeah, in the past I
Yeah.
used to like afterwards, like literally take apart Cyril, his body language and everything.
I remember.
So
yeah.
I'm going to do. We're going to do that again, and we're going to talk about the actual state of the nation. You know, not the fairy tales that he spewed out. So welcome to all of you. This is open to the public, although only members can comment. So only members can comment in this live chat. This was an extension of last night's members live chat, which we postponed till now. So everyone can watch. So please share this with other people so we can have more people viewing. Okay. But welcome to all of you. Please do share this link so as many people as possible can see this. So, your thoughts. The state of the nation, do you think it's even a thing? Why should it be a thing?
Oh, because I can imagine in a functioning government and country, one wants to hear from the elected highest public office
Okay.
representative. And when they actually, so we get bored because nothing's happened, like nothing promising has happened since he's been the president. So I think when things
Who are
are
you talking
functioning,
about
the
now?
president.
Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yes. So I think when we do have a functioning government and country, it's kind of nice to hear from the person who holds the highest office in the country.
Tell us in the comments if you think it's even relevant that a State of the Nation address takes place. It costs a fortune, I can tell you. It probably costs hundreds of millions to put that day together with the security, road closures, and all the other things that take place, and the pomp and ceremony. So it's a whole lot of money, taxpayers' money that's being used. And don't forget that every single cent the government spends comes from you, comes out of your pocket. And at the end of the day, that's something you want to change, right?
Definitely. I suppose it can be zoomed. Sona.
Yeah, you can zoom it, make it cheaper. So tell us what you think in the comments of the Sona. Is it relevant to you? But we are going to give you our take on the state of the nation, or the state the nation is in, which is probably a better reflection. Because as I said to Lauren earlier, do we even have a nation? You know, these politicians divide us so much. If you actually look at our current parliament, you will see a nation divided. And there's nothing that does us better than political parties. If we actually had 400 independent representatives elected to parliament, okay, as we are trying to achieve at the moment, it would be a very different story, because you cannot divide a country like that. You would actually have representatives from each of these 400 areas the country is divided into being represented there. You will be able to literally rock up at the home of your representative and say, hey, we're not happy with what you're doing. You'll be able to get rid of them too. That's not the case right now. So Cyril is the president. How did he get there in the first place?
Well, you've done an entire video on that.
So the guy, besides the fact that he was given shares in Anglo American when he was very young by Harry Oppenheimer, to actually set him up later in life, the guy is a gazillionaire for one simple reason. He chose to sell out his own people. Okay? The people he was supposed to protect. And because he did this, he was always going to be the follower up to Nelson Mandela. And this is important to understand. Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma was never supposed to happen. It upset the apple cart big time. And the global elites that are in control of this country are at a loss for words as to how we have screwed them over up until now. And they are battling with us, the South African people. So they are going to want to put everything in place that they can, even use the opposition parties, even the main opposition party in the country, to bring their draconian control measures. And all you have to do is create a lot of violence in the country, to implement cameras everywhere, listening devices everywhere. They call it gunshot detectors, right? These days. So our president literally created this dystopian novel last night on South Africa and everything that's been achieved in the past 30 years. A kind of Cyril in Wonderland scenario. And I think the only Wonderland is happening in his own life, because how in touch is he with real South Africans on the ground? What do you think?
I don't think public representatives are in touch. They're too busy. This is the problem with the political system as well.
The current system.
Yeah, you're so busy with meetings, even at a local level. And I suppose to some degree it's necessary, but to a larger degree, I think that the nature of the job removes you from people. And after years and years and years in it, you forget. You forget what it means to be human.
I think the moment people walk in, you've spoken, especially earlier in your in your manifesto launch, you spoke about training for government officials. Currently, the government officials, when they arrive there, they just get pummeled into what it is they have to do. Stacks of paper they have to read through, which none of them can do. So at the end of the day, they're asking their political party leaders in parliament, their chief whips, they're called whips, to whip you into order. Okay, so you are whipped to vote for a specific thing, even if you disagree with it within your party, which ceases to make this a democracy. Just the way the system is set up right now, it's a complete farce. And this is why we need to change the system. Let's not beat around the bush and be nice about it.
Yeah, actually, I want to read something. So this is how government works in certain parts of the country.
Did you just have Cyril's speech open there?
Yeah, there.
Depressing,
That's not what I'm going to read.
Yeah, of course not.
Where is
But
it?
Depressing.
Yeah, because we just did a by-election in Vryheid.
That's KwaZulu-Natal. Beautiful little town in KwaZulu-Natal. We spent time there twice. And an awesome community of people.
So councillors in the municipality, ANC councillors, get money from the IFP to vote for them in council meetings. So that's how the IFP remains in control. And then if any councillor goes against the IFP, so any other party's councillor goes against the IFP, they simply get executed.
Yeah.
So can you imagine?
You would have heard of the executions all over KwaZulu-Natal if you're a political leader there. Yes, your life is in danger if you don't play the game. So complete thuggery. I mean, that's not a democracy at all. If you have individual people elected into positions, they can be held directly accountable. Like I said, the entire community can literally rock up outside the house and hold them accountable if you have to. So you're going to have to live a clean life and really have community support for people to elect you into that position. At the moment, you get put on a parliamentary list by a party. No one knows how that election takes place. And then Parliament votes for the president, which means that the majority, whoever has a majority in Parliament, gets to elect the president. And in 2024, maybe for the first time, if the African National Congress has not got the majority, then there will be bargaining taking place for whoever the president will be.
That'll be fun to watch.
It's still not you electing the president. It's insane that we don't elect our president. And anyone that says that the people are too dumb in the country, the people are too illiterate, that's exactly what Cyril and Rolf Meyer thought when they came up with a system. That the people are dumb and stupid, so they were insulting your intellect and thinking that you don't have the capability to suss out who you would want to vote for, that you can't watch a debate on TV or in your local town hall for someone to actually be elected, that you can't discern and decide who you want to elect based on their values and principles. No, we are a nation of idiots, according to these people. And the people that agree with that, I don't want to live with you in the same country. So,
we're free to
Cyril,
be idiots.
Yes, we are free to be idiots, absolutely. So, Cyril, what do you think of his dystopian Alice or Cyril in Wonderland speech?
I think it must be very hard to deliver a State of the Nation address, knowing what's happened over the past.
Does he actually believe the crap he spoke? I mean, well, firstly, he probably didn't write it.
Most politicians don't write their speeches. I mean, I'd love to know who does write their own speeches. But I don't think he wrote it. I'm sure the president has a speechwriter. That's usually how it works.
If you had to be president, would you have a speechwriter?
Never.
Not a chance.
I could never do that. I can't.
So you put people to sleep. Because last night the EFF wasn't there. So Becky
Mm.
Chele, it was all over Twitter, fast asleep,
I don't think it's because he's bored. I think it's because he's old and tired. He should be retired.
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 Okay.
You fall
you
asleep,
think-
man.
I do.
Come on.
So do you think I'm not blaming the guy?
He's
I'm just
old
saying it
and
was all over
tired.
Twitter.
Yeah.
So I won't even go into politics because I don't think I'm the right person for something like that. But besides the point, I wouldn't want to handle the kind of nonsense you have to put up with in the current system. And I think Cyril's sick and tired of it too. I mean, all his schedules are made out for him. And just short of being knifed to death, Cyril is in a predicament because he has his own ideals and then he has those that have been given to him based on his heritage, all the money he's got that he owes to other people. He's not a businessman, okay? He's willing to make those decisions that pull that trigger, just like at Marikana, and where people will lose their lives. He's willing to do that. And so his hands aren't that clean. He's been to prison a couple of times. For those of you that have actually watched the videos I've put out on Cyril's life. So when he stands there with his glassy eyes and he laughs every now and again, don't you think he's starting to outmaneuver Jacob Zuma and his laughs? Or is he trying to nervously copy him?
I think it's almost something people do when they're feeling nervous to just disarm others. It's a good tactic. So you insult me and then I laugh.
Well, no one else was speaking.
And
he had the floor.
No, it doesn't matter. That
And the
just,
EFF wasn't there.
To me, that just
Don't you think that's
explains
boring? Don't
how
you
you
think it
felt.
would have been a lot more exciting if the EFF was there? They might have pelted him with eggs or something, to actually create some kind of a show.
Yeah, they're showmen.
Well, it works, doesn't it?
does.
So at the moment, the EFF in polls is doing a lot better because of people like Cyril talking twak at the Sona. And then you get the typical after the speech reports from the official opposition and the other opposition parties. The same refrain. And I ask myself, what have they done for the country? Have they convinced the majority of people to vote for them? No, they have not. They have been there now for 30 years too, doing squat all, earning fat salaries, and people are hoping indefinitely that things are going to change. So what do you think needs to happen to get people to change and really shake up?
To that. System change, obviously.
So promoting system change. So let's speak about the Sona itself, where Cyril says that for 30 years, the African National Congress has made the country more and more democratic. Many democratic institutions have been placed there.
I heard him speaking about the many democratic institutions.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
I have no idea.
What am I missing? What am I not reading about?
So the African National Congress does not believe in democracy, just in case any of you had any qualms about that. They have never believed in democracy at all. So democracy has only served their purpose of controlling the finances of the country, being able to deploy cadres. A cadre is someone that's with you in a military fight, in a militant fight. So Cyril was the head of the cadre deployment committee during some of the times he spoke of. He was the one deploying the cadres to Eskom to ruin the place. He was the one doing that. He was the one behind most things. When Nelson Mandela read his speech outside City Hall, where they actually had the parliamentary Sona yesterday, who held the papers for him, the speech he was reading? Who wrote the speech? It was Cyril Ramaphosa, famously. You can actually show it to them to prove it. The picture's right there. But this is the truth. And this is a truth a lot of people don't want to bear, is that our democracies are fast. The whole system was set up to fail the country. And we are getting now into the phase of failure, right? What does failure mean to you? A failed state. Because that doesn't mean a country, the people have failed. It means a state has failed.
State. Yeah. It means that water is not delivered to your taps, electricity is not delivered to your switches, It means that the popo are completely useless, if not criminals themselves. It means that roads are falling apart. So it means that the things you need to function on a day-to-day basis, which is usually managed by government because that's just how it works right now, is just not working anymore. And because it's not working anymore, businesses start to collapse, the economy starts to collapse, the amount of people that have to resort to crime or other desperate measures to survive increase. That to me is a failed state. So we're in the spectrum of a failed state.
Yeah, so a lot of people are calling us a failed state already, or saying that we are going through the throngs of a failed state. And as I've mentioned before, I know of plans for us to reach that failed state status, and it's normally outside countries that would designate you as such.
Or
By
threaten you have weapons of mass
yes,
destruction in your
yeah, by
backyard.
2025. So either you have hidden weapons of mass destruction that they have to come look for, or by 2025 we would be seen as a failed state, and to save all the people of South Africa, we would need uh, some saving force coming into our country, the blow copies being one of them, to intervene, to help us. I mean, we are currently supposedly helping in the DRC, where our last oryx got annihilated recently, and someone nearly lost his hand. Um, the fact that we don't have oryx helicopters to fly around anymore, the fact that we don't have any jet propelled aircraft that can deliver munitions anywhere to actually protect us from outside threats means we are a sitting duck. There's nothing sovereign about this country. We are at the beck and call of literally what the citizens are willing to do to defend this country, because we don't have a military that can defend the country.
No, but they do have the power to kill our own citizens, as we
Yeah,
saw.
very, 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 very powerfully. Our military are very good at making our citizens during COVID, uh, you know, do the duck walk naked in circles, make people roll around naked, beat you to death if you're the military for drinking a beer in your backyard. There's lots of things you and many other people getting beaten by the police, who's in their riot uniform with padding and everything and shields and batons, and you have nothing, and then they beat you up. That is what they're allowed to do in this country. And many people might think that this isn't serious. If you think what happened during COVID was bad, wait till you see what they will enact on you next. People have forgotten. And if I look at this channel, what this channel was built on was people wanting information about COVID, what is happening, etc. They weren't sure. And this channel grew rapidly to 30,000 people until they thought that they knew what was going on. They were exposed to more social media, and then all of a sudden, no one's interested. You forget, I said that you will lose interest, that you won't care anymore, that 2 years after COVID, it'll be like it's never happened. But then, people, you are going to get hit. And Cyril, believe you me, will play the hand of the international powers perfectly. You will get hit with things that'll drive you back to listening to what we said on this channel, because we have a very good idea of what is being played out, and we're putting actions in place to counteract that. So the state of our nation is a vulnerable one right now. We are vulnerable.
It's a good word to describe us.
Yeah. We are sitting ducks. We are vulnerable. We are vulnerable to not getting supplies from overseas. We are vulnerable to food supply. We are vulnerable to water supply. We are vulnerable to any pestilence, which I think is a beautiful word, coming from the outside world, being administered in whichever way. We are vulnerable to idiots that believe in the garbage fed you by government, the mainstream media, around the mitigations that you need to take if a pestilence is out and about again. We are vulnerable to all of those things because your own neighbor will stand up against you. So we're vulnerable against that. So how do we circumnavigate that? What have we done on this channel, and what have you done in the past to actually overcome this? Because that's what we're doing here. We're not an entertainment service, right?
Mm-mm.
We're not here to entertain you. We are here to give you options. We are here to give you valuable tools that you can choose to implement. We're not telling you what to do, that you can choose to implement in your life. And one is political and one is social, right?
Well, politically, it's system change. So you just need to become a member and get to work. That's simple. We will put you to work. I must comment that there are a lot of members that become members because they believe in the vision, but aren't necessarily willing to sacrifice a little bit of time here and there to do what's necessary. But then on the other hand, we do have members that are sacrificing lots of time to do what's necessary. But we need to grow because there's phases of OM's plan. Recruitment and growth being the first, after which is organization, where you take the numbers and you organize well. And then beyond organization is mobilization, beyond mobilization is governance. So we're still in the beginnings of recruitment and organization.
But
And we need to strengthen and increase our efforts there.
to me, the only thing that gives me peace is the fact that when the pawpaw hits the fan again, people will be very quick to listen. They won't be listening to the sideshows and the political comedians and clowns, as I call them, because they won't serve your interest anymore. You'll be in deep crap, okay, like for real. And now you need a way out. We will help you with the way out. And a lot of people are frustrated um, that we get into a situation where we need to take mitigating actions. Lauren and I are frustrated. We would just like to carry on with our lives and have fun. That's
I'm very
what
frustrated that
Very.
the world isn't how I was taught it was when I was younger at school.
I love that. We should be taught to grow food, not to elect them. Yeah, don't elect anyone that grows your food. Not to be dependent on other people. We need to speak self-reliance. It's super important. We'll be talking about that a lot.
Omega is the other side of the solution. So we're offering Omega training starting this year. Application closed on the 31st of January, but I'm wondering I should just leave it open till this weekend. So you can still go to omega.org.za and be very quick in filling out the application.
We have 2 weeks before the orientation training
Before it
starts.
yeah.
So the first, on the Saturday, we'll be doing orientation training in person in Cape Town. The Sunday, we'll be doing training on Zoom for the people countrywide. It's going to be a fairly large group, of people, countrywide. So thanks to those people that have made the effort to apply for the Omega Advanced Training. Anyone can apply. You don't need to be a member of OM. Anyone from the public can apply. Obviously, we don't want racists there. We don't want divisionists there. We don't want people like the politicians in parliament in the current system that want to fight each other. We want people to find common grounds around values and principles.
Yeah, and nor do we want selfish people.
Yeah.
People that are just doing it for their own gain.
I think it's easy to say that you want to do training just so you can save your own bacon. That makes no sense to us. If you're not willing to share it with other people or help other people because of your training, and it's just a selfish interest, you're not there for the right reasons. So we hope any of you that have that mindset, that you'll change that mindset. And when the need arises, you will use those skills to help others. Because the more people we have, the stronger we are. This is super important for your own safety too.
And people have the right mindset, like you said, no racists, no doomsday prophets either.
Yeah, if anyone believes that in 2 years' time the world's coming to an end, everything's pointless, we should just wait for a savior figure. And I'm not religious with what I'm saying there. There's many politicians that believe they are savior figures that say, I'm here to save the country. And people that believe in that, we can't help you. We can help people that are willing to become self-reliant. It's going to take work and effort. It's going to take saving. It's going to take changing your life. It's going to take changing how you look at things. And you don't have to. You can stay the way you are. You will see your gut six love. Okay, I can guarantee you that by the year 2030, you will have bugger all left of what you have now. Not even slight. There won't even be a slight fraction of what you hope to have right now and maintain in the future or grow in the future will be left by 2030. None of it. Because If you look at the UN's development plan for 2030 and the acceleration plan, remember we covered the acceleration plan where they have how many 50 countries that they do in 5 years to accelerate the program because they were behind. They are going to get nasty. And if they have to release more pestilences or many other things, which can include dirty bombs, threat of nuclear war, to lock people down, the climate, I can name endless things. It will be used by that time. And that is why Lauren has said by 2029, we need to have implemented all of this needs to be done.
Has to be.
Has to be done.
Otherwise, I can't imagine going beyond that time.
We are screwed. If we can't get it right by then, we would have missed that opportunity. Beyond that, there will be a Mad Max scenario. In other words, we won't be in a position to do anything politically anymore because it won't matter. If we can do things in a civilized, normal way now, we will actually have a semblance of civility in the country. We can build what we have now into something strong. That is the best case scenario, as we call it, plan A. All the other plans are bad plans. But we prepare for them in any case. We have to prepare for them in any case.
You have to always prepare for the worst case scenario.
Always.
And hope it doesn't happen.
Okay. But thanks for the 90 people that have joined us now. Lauren, any other thoughts with regards to Cyril's State of the Nation address?
Well, besides the fact that he sounds delusional and he complimented the Constitution, so I find that interesting. I mean, I find the Constitution very easy to pick apart. So the fact that the president is lauding it as such an awesome document again is disappointing.
They have to, don't they? To keep the status quo.
But at the same time, how can you at this stage
of the game?
Things need to change. And, there was such a huge, good PR stunt back when Jacob Zuma was the president, instilling fear in specific segments of the population about being terrified of changing the Constitution.
Yeah.
How can we? What if the ANC gets 67% majority?
They've had it already, and nothing was changed.
They're shivering in their little boots, shame man. And it never happened, but we needed to happen, actually.
We have much greater threats than the ANC. The ANC,
I was interviewed on radio for 2021 elections, a local radio station here in, I think it was Durbanville. And I wanted to speak about constitutional transformation. And the radio presenter was like, there's no way he's speaking about that. I will end this interview right now. We cannot talk about this. And so I had to change.
It's just a blank thing.
Unfreaking believable. But, for me, the biggest threat to the state of the nation, the biggest threat for the nation is people's ignorance. Not stupidity. You can work on stupidity. Ignorance. Ignoring facts.
Well, how people see facts changes based on what happens to them. So if you believe that what happened during the pandemic, the so-called pandemic, what happened then, that everything was above board, then you are not looking at facts. You need to find facts to try and find truth. And even that isn't reality. Reality is always far worse than the facts you find, than the truth you find. If you actually see how men and women have conspired to bring the world to that point, that I could know about everything that would happen in 2004 in detail, how it would play out in South Africa. The fact that I was looking out for this and then realizing that this is it, I was shocked. Because what it meant is there's real people out there in the world planning certain things that will destroy, and they are willing to do it. They are willing to take those actions. What more are they willing to do? What else have they discussed that they are willing to do in their committee meetings in Geneva, Switzerland? And you have to think about that. So for the people that think this is an easy sit back, relax, things are much better now, everything is over, you are going to get hit hard in the very near future. And you will see many things changing in this country. I spoke famously about the 3 things that will happen. Okay? The attack on the Zulu kingdom. And this is not about whether I believe it or not. It's because it is planned. It has already taken place. It's still in progress right now. Okay? So the fall of the Zulu kingdom and the Zulu nation that is planned. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's planned. And then the total destruction of Eskom, that it was planned. It's planned. When Cyril deployed his cadres to Eskom, it was to destroy Eskom. And you will see all Cyril and all his global friends and local friends and brother-in-laws are benefiting from those decisions. They are exporting our best coal out of the country when they want to shut our coal-fired power stations down. And I don't want dirty anything. But we can put desulfurization units in. We can clean things up as much as we can. There's many things we can do while we transition to cleaner energy, which is nuclear, okay, on a baseload scale, not propellers and solar panels on a large scale. Because South Africa cannot afford that mistake. And that mistake is being made big time. That's a discussion for another day. But this is Cyril's legacy. And this is what makes him so dangerous. It shows that the ANC is not in charge. The people in the ANC are not. During 2017, Cyril was elected with hundreds of millions of rands spent in bribe money for votes. And Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, whether you hate her or not, that's not relevant, had over 70% of the support within the ANC. And they was turned around with big money. Big money. So who actually runs the country? You just need to look at the donors of the parties. Why does the ANC need Eskom to fail? Because they need diesel supply to the Ankerlig power station in Gaurikwa. They need that. Because who benefits from those diesel contracts? Who do you think gets those contracts? Go and look at it. Where does that money end up? It funds this ANC machinery. It funds the global machinery in the country. So Eskom's demise was necessary to fund all of that. And it would get the country on its knees. Who needed to go on its knees? All the entrepreneurs in the country. All the people in the country that had ingenuity. All the people in the country that were the best minds, the best engineers, the best practical people needed to be chased away or be subdued completely. Because we were becoming strong as a nation. Very strong. And up to the year 2000, the country was doing really well. In the year 2001, Eskom won the Best Utility in the World award.
That's amazing.
And this was the US giving Eskom that accolade. So we were on the up after Nelson Mandela became president, then later Thabo Mbeki, and then Thabo started the Keep the Lights On campaign, and that's where things turned. So people, the state of our nation is one where we need, probably like Klaus Schwab said, our own reset of the political system.
Yeah, the great reset for South Africa.
Our own great reset. Because we are in a state. The nation is in a state. Never mind the state of the nation. So tell us in the comment, what kind of state do you think we are in? We are open to any of the global pummelings that can come our way. Our only fortunate thing is that we are so far south. If the countries in the north decide to nuke each other, we are quite far out of the way. And our government's trying their best to meddle in international affairs. I say stay out of it. Stay neutral. Stay out of it. Stay neutral. But they don't know how to do that, do they? So, Cyril, what would your advice be to him now?
Well, this is literally his last address because elections are around the corner. It was a well-written speech. If one doesn't look at the real state of the nation. I don't have advice. I think being a president in the current system is the worst job in the world. So I actually just have sympathy for anyone in that level politically in any government job.
So I think he must be happy to just get it over with.
Sure.
And carry on with his life.
And at least he didn't get assassinated. So
yeah, he didn't get killed yet. So he's just had to toe a very fine line.
Because he had to really play the game between
Both
the party
sides,
and the global agenda.
Oh, yes.
It's a very difficult line to walk. And then also keeping the people happy and the
And he
seapoint
sold
tunnies.
himself, and the seapoint tunnies, yes. He just had to go run with him once, and that was it. Yeah, he
So
gets all the
I don't know. I
funding.
don't envy his position, and the next person as well. Don't envy their position. But the system needs to change, and as long as the system remains, we'll never have candidates that are better because they'll stay far away from politics. The political system repels people that can actually do the job.
Okay, Jureta mentioned something here about the new Eskom smart meters, and I just want to say one simple thing. And for people that think this is a conspiracy theory, just go and look at history, actual recorded history that you can find in museums. The Bavarian Illuminati was founded by Adam Weishaupt. Yes, it was an actual organization. They had a very articulate plan for the world, which included being able to control any way we consume anything. Okay. And electricity is one of those things. Now, even although it didn't exist back then, the principle of the Bavarian Illuminati still applies today. These devices seem like a godsend because now your power won't be cut completely. Your power will be rationed, not automatically, by how you actually switch on things. So you get the smart meter that'll warn you to switch off certain items. And if you reduce efficiently, your power doesn't get cut. So the meter will cut your power. If you, after 4 warnings, haven't done what the meters asked you on your smart app, where they can monitor how you consume in the house 24/7, then your power gets cut. Okay, so you can avert load shedding. So people will beg to have these things installed. I understand that. So when you create the crisis, you take away that inhibition that people have to not hand over their freedom on a platter. People will hand over their freedom. And as I've said in many of the Double O Days meeting, you will beg for this new world order to be implemented. And now we're going to get a banner again underneath.
Thanks. We already mentioned COVID climate change.
Yes. So they're going to maybe put 3 banners underneath this video. So people will beg for these things to be implemented because all you have to do is make crime go rampant. And people will want surveillance everywhere. So if you want cameras in every neighborhood, on any street corner, what do you have to do? Rampant crime, kidnappings, hijackings. If you want schools to have cameras everywhere, for everything to be monitored, tracked, and traced, you just hijack or just literally steal a couple of kids.
Or attempt to even.
Or attempt to. That's all you have to do. And then you will get everything implemented you want. All you have to do is take away the food supply to people. Let the supermarkets run dry to get control over the food, the type of food people consume. So you will see more of this happening in future. The farmers are being riled up deliberately. This is a plan. They want people around the world to look at farmers as thugs, etc. So before you share, look how the farmers are standing up posts, think about the plan behind it. You're playing into their hands. You're part of the subversion. And these are the unpopular things we will always say on this channel. And you know, our channel name is very apt right now, Beyond Politics. And as you know, Lauren, as she's focused on the 2024 election campaign, will not be seen here often. You'll still pop in from time to time. Randomly, yes.
Unplanned.
But not on a regular schedule. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be able to interview you somewhere along the line on what's happening.
Again.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be weird.
Yeah.
So, Beyond Politics, I think, is a very apt name for the channel. So it'll still be the two of us when the elections are done. Lauren will join me again. But she's still here with us, fighting hand, tooth, and nail.
I'm almost pulling a Becky Cele and falling asleep.
Becky Cele, oh no. Yeah, is the reset button. So the Organic Humanity Movement, is a symbol for resistance. Just for anyone that hasn't gotten that yet. This is the resistance against this global tyranny that's coming our way. And for people, once again, that think it's a conspiracy theory, the Bavarian Illuminati was real. They had real plans. They caused the French Revolution. They caused the Bolshevik Revolution. They created the founding documents for the United States of America. They created all the institutions in the universities, like you have at Volgenhof Residence, at Eendrag Residence, at many of the others, and all the many other places around the world. They've created those mindsets and ideologies, initiations, rituals, rites, etc. It's age old, it's very effective, it makes people feel part of a niche clique that look after each other's interest at the cost of others. You cannot have a democracy and have that.
That's why I like Ohm's slogan: "Liberate South Africa."
Liberate South
We have to be
Africa.
liberated from all this
From
nonsense.
all of those things, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really want to thank you for joining us. So I would say that we're in a vulnerable state right now. If we make ourselves self-reliant, make sure you have the 5 things you need for survival. Water, food, shelter, energy, something to keep you sane. Invest in those 5 things, then you are making good investments. And if you don't have much income or anything, still get those things and apply for Amiga training. It's free, people. It doesn't cost a cent. And for those of you that do want to support us in that work that we are doing, the various presentations that we have done, the workshops that we have done, you can join up as the highest level member on this channel and do all 14 workshops. They're all loaded there. I think it's for 250 Rand, the membership. You can do all 14 workshops on the highest membership level, or you can, with the different presentations that we've given, you can book for any of those presentations. You can go to the website www.omega.org.za, and you can just send us an email at bookings@omega.org.za and then ask for the presentation you want to watch. This is how you can support us to make this work possible.
And then
signatures.
Yeah, the most important thing ever, signatures. We're just over 3,000 signatures, but we need 13,890.
So OM currently needs 13,890 signatures to contest in the elections.
Yeah.
Almost got the fees to contest the elections.
We have the fees, but not the signatures.
Yeah.
We started raising the fees before we knew about the signatures.
Yeah, that happened later. Yeah. Well, they was thrown at all the parties to try and keep them out of parliament. That's another part of the state of the nation that Cyril should have said is one of his biggest failures, is shafting democracy even more.
Yeah.
And he said, where's the pen so I can sign the NHI bill? These people are not Democrats. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in freedom of choice. They come from a background where they want to control everyone, where a chief is in charge of what everyone does. And, you know, in your culture, that is fine, but you can't run a country like that. In this country, we have so many different people from so many different beliefs and cultures. The governance system needs to look after that, doesn't it? And what OM has done is come up with values and principles that brings everyone to the center.
And a structure of government that allows autonomy and accountability to public reps.
Yeah, the accountability is you can get rid of the public rep now if they're not doing their job.
Yeah, but I think a huge emphasis needs to be on Amiga, which is why I chose to not put myself on the parliamentary list. If we get seats, I can't go to parliament. Other people will go. Other members, other capable candidates that we have, many candidates that we have, because we need to focus on Amiga training, educating the general public. So we'll start with those that apply. Those that apply and go through the training will hopefully be able to influence the rest of society, because sure, people think skew and funny, like the smart meters that Dorita was talking about. So why do you think you need smart meters? Because of load shedding. Why is there load shedding? Because of government failure. You need a new government. You don't need a smart meter. Same as surveillance. Why do you think you need surveillance? Because crime is high. Why is crime high? Because police are not doing their job. Why are police not doing their job? A bunch of reasons, but ultimately government failure again. So you need a new government, you don't need cameras.
Every single police station knows every gang leader, every drug smuggler within their jurisdiction. Every captain at every station sits with a thick Bible of crooks They know exactly what's going on. It's deliberately not controlled the way it should. So we don't have a government that's in control. And the only way to do that is, as you suggest with that the first form of government is the government of the self, then the family, then the community.
Okay, so read between the lines, people. Government of the self means you have the right to defend yourself. And yeah, you're free to look after yourself and your own property.
Correct.
So the strength of the country should start with individual strength. I think, though, a lot of people need to be taught the benefits of that, because it's so easy to just sit back and expect government to take care of everything. But we need to recognize the value of being able to be as strong as you possibly can.
Well, at the moment, we're extremely weak because our current constitution allows government, through their interpretation, to protect our lives, not for us to protect our lives. So you don't have the right to defend yourself. They have the duty of defending you.
Even if you're about to be raped, I don't believe that you will skip jail time if you shot the person. Because I've literally heard public officials say things like you need to meet the criminal with the same level of fire. So if like they're coming at you with a knife, you must come at them with a knife. You can't shoot them.
It's absolutely sick.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is absolutely insane. But anyway, that's where we're at. As a country, it's really messed up. There's a plan to change it. And I think those that are on this channel generally want to change it and are mostly involved in helping some way or the other. The rest of South Africa have to ask themselves, do they really want a solution? Because I think people sometimes act like they don't. It's easier to just sit back and allow yourself to be run over than to actually take action and do something proactive. It's like people have an allergy against that or something.
Yeah. Also, you need numbers to do something. You can have tons of farmers protesting something. If you cannot affect change, you would achieve absolutely nothing.
Protesting isn't doing something proactive.
Not at all.
It's throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
And it means you've lost control.
Yeah. So when you've lost control, then you do things like that. They aren't in control, so they are throwing a tantrum for everyone to see, and people rile up about it. And we are very, very specific about this. And a lot of people might be upset with us for saying that. And that is fine. You need to rethink how you look at things. In this country, protests, burning tires in streets. I mean, you drive down so many areas and you see these circles everywhere. It's boring, man. What of those people? When has that ever made a difference for them? It's not. So it's people throwing a tantrum. And you know what the people in government say? It'll be over just now. Because nothing's really happened to them. Now, in a different system, you now have an individual that is responsible for an area in parliament. That person will be held to account because now they can't hide in some fancy estate somewhere anymore. Okay, it's going to be far more complicated. The people in your area can come to your house or stand outside the gates of your gated estate. You're going to have to be an upstanding citizen. So it's a very, very different way to govern. It's a totally different mindset. But do people really want freedom? That's the other question.
Yeah, it's something I ask all the time.
And that's something that Cyril understands, that you just give people handouts and they will mostly be happy.
You give people service,
but that's changing.
You give people relatively adequate service delivery. They won't want freedom. They'll want that rather.
Well, many people have said they'll rather live in the Western Cape under surveillance, where they monitor, track and trace morning, noon and night as long as a pothole in the road is fixed. Strange. I'll rather live in the mountains where you can't even drive a car as long as I'm free to do what I can do. So my mindset's very different. And I think you will feel the same. The day your kids don't have a future and their future is spelled out for them. And when Klaus Schwab tells you that you will own nothing and you will be happy, he means it because he understands the plans behind that statement. There's an entire committee of about 300 people that are the most powerful people in the world. They don't need money. They have real power. They can tell reserve banks what to print and what not to print. They play the global game across countries and borders. Don't think that Russia, China, the US, and all the other countries aren't influenced by them directly. You are being fooled because these people know that the people of the world can stand up against them and crush them in an instant.
But it won't.
Well, education can get you there. The mainstream media is extremely important in maintaining the lie. The other thing that's extremely important is control of what we consume. That was the main focus of the World Economic Forum this year, and we sent our finance minister to the World Economic Forum meeting where they said that we need to control what goes out on social media. If your kids have cell phones or you plan on giving them cell phones, don't give them open access to the internet. Don't do it to your child. The moment that happens, AI will run your child's life.
Children are perfectly capable of surviving without phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our kids are doing just that, and they are doing really well because they are not locked onto phones all the time. And yet they are capable of operating phones, computers, laptops, etc. So thanks so much for joining us. It's really wonderful having you all with us. The state of the nation now is vulnerable. For those of you that have just joined us, let's get it out of this vulnerability. Let's become more self-reliant, and we're doing it one person at a time. If we look at what we have achieved, this community has achieved, it's incredible what you've achieved together. And how many signed up members has OM got now?
1,700.
1,700 signed up members. So that's not just supporters, those are signed up members. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
You can do a lot with that many people actually activated to do stuff. That's very powerful. So people, let's use that power that each of us have, become more self-reliant, making sure you get the 5 things for the survival: water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane or make you feel loved. And then make sure that we do everything in our power to make Plan A work, which means that we ensure that we change the governance system, we convince other parties and people in parliament to do the same. And we need to put a massive groundswell movement in place to achieve that. I believe we're achieving that already, but we need to put in massive effort right now. And then funds, you're going to have to raise funds for OM to be able to market all of this.
And lots of funds.
Yeah, so if you people can donate towards the funds to actually do this. It's posters, it's adverts, it's all sorts of things. I mean, you're running ads on Facebook and all over the place, right?
I am, without fundraising for it.
So people, please help fund these things so that people become aware of our plans to change the system. And do it on your social media. Just share everything as far as you can. Share this this live stream. And then if you haven't watched the manifesto launch, what time did it start?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. It was almost
6.
2 hours long.
Yeah.
Just share that, watch that, and share that. And then where can the people get all of the manifesto?
I'm going to put it on the website.
Okay.
And all this weekend at some point.
Because I haven't seen.
You haven't?
I haven't.
Oh, it's
no.
adorable. I'm going to put it on the website, and then I'm going to WhatsApp and email it to the members, and the members will distribute it everywhere, and we'll probably put it on Facebook as well.
So when will they be able to get that?
I can loosely say Monday.
Yes, if each member gets 8 signatures, you're there.
I know, Liz. It's that easy. Anyway.
Come on, people. Yes, the forms for the signatures. I mean, can't one make a link for a live stream like this or a video where you can just put it in the comments?
I put the form on all our WhatsApp groups.
There's new forms now, hey, that they've
forms.
given. Yeah.
I'll put it on our Des and Lauren Telegram channel.
Yes, so go and look on the Telegram channel or the WhatsApp groups or the community tab here on YouTube, right?
It's even on our Facebook page. You can just go to the Organic Humanity Movement Facebook
and the
page.
community tab. But let's put the websites down at the bottom again. So 2 things that we are helping to take us out of the vulnerable state.
Yeah.
Is the political side and the social side.
Empowerment program.
Yeah, so here's the first one, the political side. www.om.org.za. So you can go to that website, and then the next one is www.omega.org.za. So we have workshops, Omega workshops that all of you can do. I will really advise you to do them. You can book them one by one if you want. They're 100 Rand a workshop, or you can just go and join the highest membership. At the highest membership, you get all 14 workshops are there. You can join up for a month and then do all of them. I suggest you make the effort and do that. And then the presentations, there's 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 5 presentations. You can go and find those. You still need to add them to the website. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
But once Lauren's added those to the website, you'll be able to, you can book them as well. The recordings are there and you can watch those.
And if you really want to do Amiga training, I'll extend the thing until tomorrow. So tonight, you better get busy on the application process because.
So tomorrow.
Yes.
Wow, that's a bargain.
This weekend. Say this weekend. I'll probably only get around to
for those of
stuff
you that haven't done it, but I really look forward to that. We already have a group of people in Cape Town. We
Mm-hmm.
have a venue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll let you know closer to the time. So let's just give a quick rundown of Amiga training, advanced training, what it's about.
You mean summary?
Yeah, quick summary. Well, the website tells you.
The website does a citizen empowerment program. It'll help you be a leader in your community in times of crisis because we haven't got any military strength. We haven't got any government strength. So if disaster happens at any level or scale, we need people to maintain civility and law and order in their communities, wherever they may be. Because what happens is that when power structures break down, crazy radical extremist groups on all sides of the political spectrum try and take power, and that causes absolute chaos. And what they can do, or what they think they have power to do, can end up in disaster. We don't want people to be hung or shot or killed because of some maniac lunatic with crazy fundamental ideas. And so we want to maintain civility and stability in times of crisis. Amiga training should give you the tools to be able to mitigate absolutely any scenario that comes your way, working together with other people that are trained as well.
So Amiga training will give you information to be able to live through plan B and C scenarios, which could be temporary scenarios in certain areas. In KwaZulu-Natal, people went to plan C, Mad Max scenario within almost no time. And then they slowly progressed towards plan B scenario as they grouped and organized.
It's what's the law of the machete, I like to call it.
Yeah, it's
not a good place
to be. No one wants to go there.
I mean, if I didn't have kids, I'd take my chances with plan B. But because I have children, there's no ways I want to get there.
No, of course not. We don't want to get there. So plan A, we are putting all effort in to achieve that. And I believe if we achieve system change happening by 2026, we can get that transition to happen, especially after the local government elections. Really be a big voice. You don't need to wait till 2029 for the changes to take place. It can happen sooner. Parliament can decide to make those changes and implement them when we put enough pressure on them. And I believe it's possible by 2026 if we make everything work really well and have the country on its way to good recovery, being more resilient by 2029. And if we don't achieve that, heaven help us all. That's all I can say. With what I know, what is planned, we cannot. I don't even want to contemplate the alternative.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.